Hi, welcome to Healthcare in Context. My name is Charlotte Seyfried. I am a breast cancer survivor, a caregiver, and a patient advocate, and I'm the founder and creator of charlottepxp.com. And this is my partner.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Holcomb, founder of Wellness Communities. I'm a certified community health worker through Baylor Scott and White, and shortly after earning my MBA, I quit my job to start focusing full-time on helping people to dwell in wellness. And welcome to our series, Healthcare in Context. We call it this because contextual care matters. In fact, evidence shows that paying attention to contextual care factors improves the likelihood of positive medical outcomes by 70%.
And we all know that our stories have power. So that's why we are here to collect them and share them with you. Join us as we learn from these stories.
We're here to, one, be that resource for patients in sharing these stories and the wisdom that comes with them. And two, we want to be a resource for providers out there who do deeply care about the patient experience and offer them actionable insights into how it can be improved. We want to clarify, neither one of us are doctors. Nothing that is discussed in these interviews should be construed as medical advice.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me. I really appreciate you, both Caitlin and Charlotte. I always love a good podcast, and so thank y'all for having me. My mom taught me manners, and so I want to say thank you first. Second, my name is Aelicia Watson, affectionately known as Chocolate, and your viewers and listeners can call me Chocolate. I give y'all permission to do that. But a little bit about my healthcare journey is, I've actually had cancer 3 other times before now. So I'm walking through my 4th round of cancer. I had bone cancer in my left leg as a child in 90 and 91. And then I had breast cancer in 2023 in my left breast, doing a double mastectomy without reconstruction. And then 10 years later, in 2023, October, literally 10 years later, I had a recurrence spreading to my left chest wall and my left lung. So I am currently in stage 4 diagnosis. I take chemotherapy every day at noon. I do 3 weeks on, 1 week off, and I do a pill form. So I'm able to still go to work and partly show up in the world. And I do just scans and different things like that every 4 weeks. But for me, how I found out about this reoccurrence, I was actually on a trip in Costa Rica, and I couldn't breathe. And I didn't want to go to the doctors in Costa Rica because I was like, yeah, I'm out of the country. I'm not doing that. So waited till I got back in the States, and I still couldn't breathe. But I thought, because I'm naturally a high functioning, energetic person, I just really thought that it was my life. Like, oh, okay, I'm tired. I need to sit down. And my left arm kept hurting. And the pain was so unbearable that so between the shortness of breath and the left arm pain, it was so unbearable. I ended up making a doctor's appointment, and I just was like, I cannot sleep, and it's keeping me up at night. And my doctor was like, well, we're going to send you in to get an MRI. And so I go to get an MRI, and that's when they saw a liter of fluid on my left lung and a half a liter of fluid on my right lung. They drain the fluid, and then they see the tumor on my left lung. And this surgery is inoperable. And so if they cut me open, I will die. And so chemo is the choice for me. That's my choice that I'm choosing to do right now, with some partial holistic approaches. And I'm also learning to eat healthier. I didn't know how to do that. I wasn't educated on that. So for me, that's how I found out this time. It was really literally through the arm pain. And when I got the liter of fluid drained off my left lung, off my left chest wall and lung, it was almost like I could move my arm all over again. Like I felt so much better. And so like I was able to move my arm, I was able to sleep on that side. And then they were like, well, since we're inside training, we're gonna go ahead and do a biopsy while we're inside. And I was like, please do. But I kind of already knew that it was something. I feel like the Lord had already prepared me that it was something. And I actually told them, I was like, I know it's cancer. And especially because I had that 10 years prior. And when I had it 10 years prior, I literally had, I thought it was a boil in my left armpit because I thought it was from me shaving. And I found out it wasn't from me shaving. It was a classification and lymph nodes and all that had swollen in my left armpit. And one morning I woke up with a blood vessel busted in my left nipple, which I had to go to emergency. And when I went to emergency, they did a biopsy. And the very next day, they told me that it was cancer. So that's how I got diagnosed 10 years ago and then re-diagnosed last year. And this journey is hard. It's not for the weak. But I will tell you that this journey for me has drawn me closer to God. And it's also it also has reminded me to live in a way that I had never lived before. So, yeah.
I'm so sorry about, again, a reoccurrence, and so incredibly grateful for your willingness to share this story. I know it will serve to help others.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I believe that if just one listener, one viewer hears this and can identify, I've done what God asked me to do, which is share the story.
When you say that you would, how you've just lived you're living life in a way that you never lived it before. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Yes, I can, Julie. One of the things that I think about, and I will tell all of you ladies on this call, one of the things that many of the things that I think about, but I'll pare it down, is for me, I've learned the better art of saying yes and no when I need to in this last year. Now, I will tell you, for me, I've always been boundaried and disciplined, Julie. You know that. I have no problem saying what I need to say. I'm very direct. I'm a very effective communicator. But this level of no and this level of yes, that is the way that I'm moving differently. I am giving myself permission to experience new experiences. You would have thought that the first 3 other times of having cancer would have made me experience some new experiences. But listen, I'm traveling. My passport is being stamped up. I am doing life with others in a way. And I'm a very social butterfly, but I'm doing life with others in a way that's unheard of. I am tasting new foods to put different things on my palate so I can just say I've experienced it. Even if I don't like it, I'm experiencing it, saying, oh, I don't want to try that. No, I want to try that. Give it here. I want to try all the things. I'm having fun with getting dressed up and getting super cute, not for an event, just because I feel like going out for that day. It's not for work. It's not for anything. It's just because, Chocolate, where are you going today? To the grocery store and back home, because this is what I feel like. So, so that again has me living in a different way. I am learning in this season of living in a different way. I would also say, because 10 years ago I was married and my daughter was still, at home. And so I'm 10 years later, I'm now divorced and my daughter is not at home and my daughter is also not speaking to me right now. And so, because I have boundaries. And so, you think about the attacks and how big they are. And I'm not in a season of people pleasing at this stage of my life because my healthcare is very important. And I've really never been a people pleaser in my adult years. But, when you start telling people no, they get real upset with you. It doesn't matter who they are. They get upset with you. And I've had to learn that it doesn't matter who it is. My yay means yay and my nay means nay. And that's gonna affect even the closest people near and dear to me. And I have to be okay with that because that's the boundary that I set. I am also trying to learn how to have some work-life balance. I tell people all the time, alcoholic and drug addiction is not the only holic. A workaholic is a thing. I'm a workaholic. I've always been a workaholic. I had a baby at 14 years old. I got my first job at 15 years old working at Burger King. I've never been in jail nor incarcerated, but I have worked my whole entire life because I've never seen my mom work one day in her life, not one job. And so I'm cut from a different cloth. So I'm a workaholic. And people don't talk about that. They talk about the other things that's publicized. And so I'm trying to learn how to not be a workaholic. I could have easily done this podcast at home in the comfort of my bed, or not bed, but at home. I'm still at the office right now. I'm in my work office, and I've been working until I logged in, which is ridiculous, And so I'm trying to learn how to do better with that and take care of myself. And I will tell you, I don't know how to do that. I absolutely do not know how to take care of myself. I cry a lot because I don't know how to take care of myself. And that has me moving different. So those are just some of the things that I'm doing to move different and to take better care of myself so I can rest. I was born a crack baby. I don't even know how to rest. My mother was a drug addict my whole entire life. So what do you mean rest? I grew up in poverty. I don't want to live the life of what my parents did. So I continue to go, 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 go because the scarcity mentality is real in my life. And people don't understand that. So I'm trying to unlearn those things right now in this season of my life. And I'm also learning to ask for help. I'm going to tell you, it's not pride. It's just that I come from a certain cloth that I don't want you hanging anything over my head and saying, I did this and I did that. But listen, baby, if I tell you that my friends take me to the doctor now, they take me out to eat, they pick up my medicine. I just got a phone call from my mentee and she said, hey, Miss Chocolate, do you need me to go pick up anything for you? I'm on my way. I just got off work. I'm literally crying in my soul because I'm like, wow, somebody actually called me and I took them up on their offer if I would have needed that. But I'm like, yes, can you please go get a prescription? Can you please go pick up my clothes from the cleaners? Can you please, stop and get me this list of fruit? Because I know what I like. I don't want to tell you to go get me fruit. You don't know what I like. This is what I like, and this is what I want. Yeah. And I never would have ever done that, ever. And when somebody says, do you need anything? I'm like, oh, no, I'm good. I'm good. Now I'm like, you know what? I like essential water. This is what I like. It's alkaline. Buy me this.
It's so important to learn how to accept help, and it's so hard, especially when you've been a helper your whole life.
Yes.
I completely understand that.
Yes. So those are some things that I'm doing different, Julie.
Thank you, Chocolate. I admire you so much. And I just love the growth. I mean, I relate to the workaholic aspect of it. And I'll be praying for you about that because I think that you have so much in life that you enjoy. But part of that is the impact that you're making through your work. And so that I know it's difficult, but anyway, yeah, I think it's just I love you're like, it's launched you into this growth phase of doing new things and trying new things.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you're so special.
Thank you, friend.
What I love about this particular interview is the fact that we have the dynamic of that pre-existing relationship between you, Chocolate, and Julie.
Yeah, I love it. I'm like, Julie, that's my girl. Yeah, because we go back 5-6 years now, something like that, almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we when we connected, we went deep early on. So our relationship outside of the person that, outside of the person that connected us, we went really deep. So,
how did you meet?
We met through a mutual friend that was doing some cohort stuff with some bank. I forget the name of the bank right now. I can't think of it. Thrive It Financial. Yeah. And so our mutual friend Lindsay. And so she said, I told her what I was trying to do over here in the neighborhood and get a property and all of that before the current property. And she said, you got to meet my friend Julie. Like, she does this real estate stuff in the neighborhood for the community, all that. And then when me and Julie went, we just realized we had a similar story, the cancer story, but we also just had transparent conversation because I don't really shoot the shit well. So, and yeah, I'm like this. I'm like, when we meet, we're either vibing or we're not. I'm kind of not one of those, you're going to know where you stand with me. So that's how we met. And we've been friends ever since. And we just started our own relationship.
It was a blessing from God.
Yeah.
So, Julie, I'd love to hear a little bit about your story on that screening and diagnosis part, and what kind of what was that spark of that beginning in that journey for you?
When I was in my 20s, my mom passed away from breast cancer, and so I was like really heightened aware of sort of wanting to do anything and all things that I could to try to prevent that from happening, and to the extent you can. And I, so I got regular screenings. I had a small melanoma like 10 years ago, and I got it really early, and I just see the scar, and I would praise God that, that I got it so early, and just, anyway, just believed and could afford, to go to doctors. I have health insurance, all these, I live in a big city like Dallas where it's very easy to do it. The quality of healthcare is, anyway, so I regularly got my mammograms, and but at one point I felt a little lump, and I went to get a screening, and they thought it was, and I did have sort of dense breast tissue, but they thought it was just like fibrous breast tissue. And so, that was that. And then I had a mammogram after that. I used to pray that my mammograms would come out clear. But then afterwards, I realized what I really wanted was for the mammograms to come out accurate. Because I think what happened was it was growing all that time, but it was what they call lobular carcinoma, and it grew in a way that wasn't like a big mass, but kind of a linear sort of thing. And kind of went undetected. And so eventually it started to become bigger, and it was diagnosed as cancer on a mammogram. And, but by that point it had spread into my lymph nodes, and, was pretty advanced. But not too advanced for God. Anyway, so it was very clear. I had been, sorry, I eliminated this step. I had checked myself early on for whether I had a genetic, the BRCA gene, because I would have gladly gotten rid of my breasts. This was prior to having cancer. But I didn't have that gene. There may be things, in my environmental upbringing that were similar to my mother's, or maybe things that we ate or drank or whatever, like there could be things hereditary wise, but I didn't have the genetic predisposition for breast cancer. But anyway, so then I went and had, double mastectomy, and I had chemotherapy, and I had radiation, and I guess like Chocolate was saying, you just fall on your friends, and the people that love you, and like Chocolate, like that just carried me. And I have new relationships with those people that you just, you have friends, but you don't really know how significant they are, and who those, deep friends are, until you go through something where you can't really go through it on your own. But yeah, so then there were a few different issues. Like, and it turned out I actually had cancer in both breasts, but they didn't know it at first until I went to a second place, and that actually was it didn't really matter, because at that point I had both my breasts removed, but it eliminated me from some clinical trials that I was hoping to go through, and it just increase the likelihood that it would spread. And so anyway, I know in this case, both Chocolate and I are strong believers that you can't talk about this without bringing your faith into this. But it was like battling fear, like I don't know how many days I have left, but I am not going to let fear rob me of joy and just trying to, and God gave me that gift and helped me to, just experience joy. Like when you're talking about all the things you're learning and doing, just experiencing joy, despite, and just casting out fear in the name of Jesus. But, so I feel for you, Chocolate, when you say you go through scans every month, like, that is like, in my case, it would be less frequent, but it's this, again, just casting out fear. And God, there's nothing that can happen to me today that God isn't big enough to help me handle and doesn't know in advance. So, but that whole process of going through scans and finding out more information, and it, fairly recently, I had something come up a couple of, in the last year, something in blood in my urine, or I had blood tests that had elevated like liver enzymes. And, you just like, once you've experienced that, but again, like, cast out fear, lean on friends, find joy in the day. And then in my case so far, it has been not the recurrence of cancer, but, it's just, affects how you live each day and how you go through I never would have been worried about a blood test. I always, I was thankfully, grew up in California and grew up playing sports, and I've always enjoyed fitness and exercise and stuff. And so I've always my blood tests have been pretty good and I've never worried about it. But, you just all of a sudden now everything's a little bit different. But again, it's a chance each day to lean on God. For
you for sharing that, Julie. That was really powerful. Thank you both for giving that background.
We'd like to give a big thank you to our guests, and we hope that you'll join us for the next episode. Context is everything, and healthcare and life. If you believe in what we're doing and want to support us, please remember to like, subscribe, and share our channel. Reach out if you want to be on our show, or you think we should cover another topic. What did you learn from the show today? We want to hear from you. Contact us at hcincontext@gmail.com. Leave a comment or look us up at dwellnesscommunities.com. One of the most common questions I get asked as a cancer survivor is, what should I send to my loved one who was recently diagnosed? So that's why I helped create a curated list of products at dwellnesscommunities.com in the shop tab. It contains products that are tested and recommended by the people on our show, including me. We'll take a portion of proceeds and donate it to Undo Medical Debt. For every dollar donated, it will pay off $100 of debt. It also helps us continue to share these stories with you. We wish you wellness. And if you aren't feeling well, remember, there are people out there working hard to make you feel better. See you soon. Until then, take care of yourself and stay cozy.